What really happens when one of the most adored K-pop icons returns to the public eye in one of the most glamorous cities in the world? What if we told you this comeback wasn't just a fashion moment, it was a cultural phenomenon? Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the breathtaking return of Kim Taehyung, better known as V of BTS, as he takes over Paris in the most unforgettable way. From fan reactions to media frenzy, from airport chaos to Parisian elegance, this is the full story you don't want to miss. Let's set the scene. After months of silence during his military service, V finally made his return. But this wasn't just any return. This was V stepping into Paris, the global capital of art, elegance, and expression. And trust us when we say this, the city of lights had never shone brighter. As he arrived, the entire atmosphere changed. From the moment he stepped foot in the airport, it was as if time stood still. Fans froze. Photographers gasped. And just like that, the fashion capital turned into a celebration of one man's quiet charisma. Paris was buzzing, not just because of Fashion Week, not just because of Celine, but because V was here. And somehow, despite no official TikTok, no daily Instagram stories, and no loud promotions, his presence was all it took to dominate headlines and hearts. He didn't just walk into Paris. He lit it up. His arrival at the hotel? A cinematic moment. Reporters rushed, fans gathered, and yet he moved with a quiet grace. He didn't stay long inside. In fact, within a short while, V emerged in a new outfit, and social media went wild. It wasn't just his clothes. It wasn't just the styling. It was the aura. That timeless, almost unexplainable presence. Many fans began pointing out how his look resembled a famous old photo from years back, an image that armies have treasured for a long time. It was as if the past had come full circle, reminding us all that some things, like true elegance, never fade. And now, with Celine's grand return to the Paris runway, V's presence feels even more symbolic. He's not just attending. He's setting the tone. Every smile, every wave, every glance toward the fans, pure magic. Now let's talk about his energy. Despite flying more than 14 hours straight from South Korea, with barely any rest, V looked absolutely radiant. He waved, smiled brightly, and even greeted fans with the kind of warmth that feels deeply personal. No signs of exhaustion, just joy. Pure, contagious joy. And the fans in Paris? They understood the assignment. Outside his hotel, there was no pushing.
No jabbing.
Just respectful distance, quiet cheering, and soft chants of Taehyung and V. Everyone had their phones out, but no one crossed the line. And that's what made the moment so beautiful. You could feel the mutual respect in the air. Paris armies gave V something rare, space. And in return, V gave them everything, his smile, his presence, and his gratitude. But while the Parisian welcome felt like a dream, things were very different on the other side of the journey. Let's rewind to where it all began. Incheon International Airport. Just a day before V's departure to Paris, the news broke. This would be his first official promotional schedule since completing military service. That single announcement set the internet on fire. Excitement skyrocketed. Fans rushed to the airport. And the media? They came in droves. When V appeared, the terminal turned into chaos. He was masked, dressed casually, and surrounded by bodyguards. But none of that could hide his presence. Cameras flashed. Reporters screamed. Fans pushed through barriers. People ran just to catch a glimpse. Within hours, over 700 news outlets had published stories about his visuals, his aura, and his unexpected appearance. But this wasn't just excitement anymore. It became overwhelming. As V moved toward the departure area, he was swarmed. Not gently, not respectfully. He was followed, cornered, filmed up close. Some fans chased after him. Others pushed each other. Reporters tried to get their mics as close as possible. It wasn't admiration, it was madness. And yet, in the middle of all that chaos, V didn't lose his composure. He didn't flinch. He didn't rush away. He walked slowly, gracefully, respectfully. Even when cameras were in his face and strangers brushed past him, he remained composed.
Calm.
Like a true professional, let's pause here for a second. Can we just appreciate how hard that must have been? Very few people, celebrity or not, could handle that level of pressure and still smile. But V did. And in doing so, he reminded us of the deep strength it takes to be both famous and grounded. Unfortunately, several fans who were present at the airport have since shared their experiences online. Some were pushed.
Some were stepped on.
A few even reported injuries. There were too many people and not enough safety measures in place. Even journalists covering the event described it as dangerous. And the sad truth? This isn't the first time something like this has happened. Airport culture in K-pop is something that's been debated for years. While many fans simply want to show support, others cross the line, running toward idols, screaming too loudly, or even physically grabbing them. And that leads us to one of the biggest questions in the community right now. Why don't idols have private airport entrances? The answer: it's complicated. In the past, there have been discussions in Korea about creating separate entrances or VIP lanes specifically for celebrities. But the backlash was swift. Many argued that such systems would be elitist or unfair. As a result, most airports still rely on the same public access for everyone, including the world's biggest stars. Until that changes, the responsibility falls on us, the fans. It's up to us to ensure that our love doesn't turn into something harmful, that our admiration doesn't cross into obsession, that we support without suffocating. And that's exactly why the contrast between Korea and Paris is so striking. In Korea, chaos. In Paris, calmed. In Korea, panic. In Paris, poise. And throughout it all, V remained the same, kind, patient, and endlessly respectful. If anything, he showed us what it means to lead by example. Now here's the beautiful part. After arriving in Paris, V was asked about his experience. And instead of scolding anyone, he gently reminded fans to be more careful, to prioritize safety, to think about others in the crowd. His message wasn't angry. It was caring, like an older brother looking out for those he loves. That's V. Always thoughtful, always considerate, and always leading with heart. And here's something that deserves a round of applause. The fans who respected his space, those who waited patiently, stood at a distance, and simply enjoyed the moment from afar. You are the real heroes of this story. Because in those quiet moments of respect, V could finally breathe. He could feel the love without the fear, and that's the kind of fan culture we need more of, not just in Paris, not just in Korea, but everywhere, because at the end of the day, these artists are human beings. They get tired. They feel stress. They have limits. And just like anyone else, they deserve safety, peace, and privacy. Let this be a moment of learning. Let this be a turning point. Let's transform how we show our love, from noise to kindness, from chaos to care. Because the greatest gift we can give our favorite artists is the freedom to simply be themselves. Before we wrap up, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of V's arrival in Paris? Do you think private airport entrances should be allowed for celebrities? Or do you believe fans need to take greater responsibility? Let's have a respectful conversation in the comments below. We read every message, and your voice truly matters. And of course, if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss the latest updates about BTS and beyond. Until next time, stay kind, stay thoughtful, and always choose respect, because real fans don't just cheer. Real fans protect.